He'd asked the middle class to pay more in taxes so that he could give another $250,000 tax cut to people making more than $3 million a year. It's like Robin Hood in reverse. It's Romney Hood.
Well, that's the president with a new line of attack against Governor Romney on taxes, accusing the Republican presidential candidate of robbing the poor to pay the rich. The president using a recent report by the Tax Policy Center that concludes that Governor Romney's plan will raise taxes on the middle class. The Romney campaign calls the analysis, quote, flawed. What is the impact of all of this on voters? Joining us now for a fair and balanced debate, Kate Obenshain is the former chair of the Republican Party of Virginia, and Simon Rosenberg is the president and founder of NDN and a former Clinton campaign advisor. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
A little context, Simon, I know you're in Connecticut. You weren't at any high-dollar fundraisers last night. That's where the president was speaking.
I wish I was, but I'm here rooting on the D.C. Little League champions in their quest to get to Williamsport in the Little League World Series. The son's on the team. We're doing pretty well, but we got to win a big one today.
All right, I want to ask you about that later because I want an exclusive with him when he becomes the champion. Kate, I want to talk to you a little bit about this line from the president, Romney Hood. You say it's ironic. Why?
Well, for one, I'm still waiting for the great post-partisan president that didn't believe in name-calling. But this is a continuation of the most divisive presidency where he's continuing this class warfare rhetoric. But I'm actually shocked that he picked this Robin Hood or Romney Hood analogy, because this president has presided over the highest poverty rate for women in 17 years, unemployment at record high, the deficit robbing future generations. It just seems to me rather a dangerous route for him to take, whereas Romney has promised to lower taxes for all Americans, basically unleashing those trillions that businesses are sitting on and providing certainty and opportunity for all Americans. All right, and yet we've got this ridiculous name calling.
So Simon, surprisingly, Kate does not like this term, does not think it's effective. Do you think this is a catchphrase that will win the presidency?
I think it's just another step in the story that Barack Obama is trying to tell to the American people about what the actual proposals from Mitt Romney are. I mean, he wants to cut taxes on wealthy people. He wants to increase defense spending, which means that if he wants to close the budget deficit, and analysis show that his plan will increase the deficit by $2 trillion, he's going to have to cut dramatically in things like education, infrastructure, long-term R&D, the things that create broad-based prosperity over time. I think that the Romney plan isn't going to stand up to scrutiny. There's too much emphasis on lowering taxes on rich people and leaving everybody else with less. And I think that's why the Democrats are feeling good about their election chances this fall.
So, Kate, let me ask you about the strategy from the Republican side. How did they fight back here? The president says, Mitt Romney's plan is Romney Hood. He's out with the tax calculator today where you can plug in your income, say if you're married or single, and then it'll spit out at you whether or not you're going to see your taxes go up under a President Romney. And it's you don't really get a lot of insight as to the formula they're using on this website, but we're showing it on our screen. It's pretty easy to do, and the results can cause some people to think. While the president was doing this fundraiser yesterday, Mitt Romney was grocery shopping. And we have some photographs of that, just saying it's probably an attempt to, look like a normal guy. Is this the right strategy for Mitt Romney?
Look, I think that Mitt Romney needs to come out hard today. He needs to be very clear that this is deceit. That whole tax calculator, it's the same sort of deceit we heard with Obamacare when we were told it wasn't a tax increase, and they argue in front of the Supreme Court it is. This is pure deceit. It is an analysis that was developed by a former Clinton administration employee, and it sends completely an erroneous message, whereas what Democrats don't understand and Romney has to convey is that when you lower taxes, revenue actually increases. That's what happened under the last three presidents that significantly decreased taxes, particularly Reagan. You see a boom in federal revenue because more people are more prosperous and therefore the tax base expands. You've got to find a clear way to articulate that to the American people and say, if you want to continue record high high food stamps, record high unemployment, record high deficits, then let's continue to threaten the income producers in this country with higher taxes. Let's continue to stymie businesses, and let's rip the American people apart, turning them against each other with this class warfare rhetoric.
Simon, do you think there's a possibility of, again, this conversation about class warfare backfiring on the president?
Well, two things. First of all, right now, if the election were held today, the president would win. He's up substantially in all the major battleground states right now. So he's doing very well, and I think that he's feeling confident about his chances in the fall. So far, it's clearly working. And if you look at the analysis about the ads he's been running in the battleground states, it's done incredible damage to the perception of Mitt Romney in these states. The second thing is almost nothing Kate has said on this show today is true. And it's why the Republicans, it's one of the reasons why the Republicans are in so much trouble this fall. Because I'm going to finish. You got to speak. I'm going to finish.
Then I have to speak because we have a commercial break coming up. But go ahead.
Okay, so the point is that what Mitt Romney has proposed is to increase the deficit by trillions of dollars. And so if the goal,
that is a ridiculous
if the goal is to reduce the deficit in order to unleash the private sector, Mitt's actual own proposals are going to dramatically increase the deficit. So they've got to make Mitt Romney's got to do more to make sense out of his economic plan. And I think he's going to be able to do that over the next few months.
We have a new strategy. Both sides are calling each other deceitful. I know we've never heard that before on this program or otherwise. There are no politics in baseball, though, so we wish Simon's son the best of luck in his game today.
Absolutely.
Jenna, thanks so much.
Kate and Simon, both of you are invited back anytime. Look forward to having you both together again soon. Thank you.